Sobbing with joy this morning. A 3-year-old girl was rescued alive after 65 hours. That's about 2.5 days. She was found under the rubble of a building that was destroyed by Friday's earthquake in Turkey. She had been with her mom and 3 siblings when the quake demolished their apartment. The others were rescued earlier. This morning's rescue comes just a few hours after searchers found a 14-year-old girl alive in one spot and a dog at another. New this morning, Minnesota corrections officials have just announced an inmate at the Stillwater prison has died after testing positive for COVID-19. The 61-year-old man died yesterday morning. He is the third COVID-related death of an inmate in Minnesota State correctional facilities. And it comes as more than 750 of the nearly 1,300 inmates at Stillwater have tested positive. Prison officials are investigating the design and infrastructure of the Stillwater facility to see if that's a factor in the rapid spread of COVID. The previous 2 Minnesota inmate deaths from COVID-19 happened in June at the prison in Faribault. Fargo police are trying to determine if there's a connection between 4 separate shootings over the course of about 3 hours this weekend. The first call was Saturday night around 11. A 23-year-old man was in the hospital with a gunshot wound, but he was not cooperating with the police investigation. Less than a half hour later, police got a call of gunshots in the 2400 block of 18th Street South, and then found a car with gunshot damage about 6 blocks away. None of the 4 people inside were hurt. Then around 12:45 yesterday morning, officers were dispatched to the 800 block of 12th Street North for a man who was shot in the stomach. There's no word on his condition. Police say everyone involved has been identified. The last of the calls was at 2:30 yesterday morning when a man told dispatchers that he thought he had been shot. Firefighters found him on Robert Street by the Fargo Fire Headquarters in downtown Fargo. Police believe this shooting might have actually happened in Moorhead. A Minnesota man is in jail after police say he damaged property near the Moorhead Soccer Complex while driving drunk. Officers first tried stopping him yesterday afternoon near 8th Street and 40th Avenue South. But he took off, and police did not continue the chase. Then they got another call about a reckless driver hitting a fence a few blocks away. He tried pulling the car over again, but the driver took off onto I-94 into Fargo. He ended up in a highway ditch near University Drive. 28-year-old David Berg of Ogama was arrested for DWI, and police say they are also pursuing charges of reckless driving and criminal damage to property. It's now 8 minutes before 7. Time to get a check of that First Alert Storm Team forecast on this Monday morning. Usually I'm not happy on a Monday morning, but talking about this November forecast has everyone smiling, Lisa.
Yeah, we've got great weather ahead today. Maybe you're feeling more well-rested too after switching from daylight saving time to standard time. That sunrise happening a little sooner, but we did get that extra hour of sleep. And we're looking at sunrise now at a little after 7 o'clock. So if you look out the window, you'll see the sky brightening up here. That unfortunately also means the sunset is an hour early. We're closer to that 5 o'clock hour. So talking about some bad news here, we're looking at about 10 hours of daylight right now to start off the month, and we lose more than an hour this month. So something to be aware of, but we've got plenty of sunshine on the way for today and warm temperatures too. So let's enjoy it while we can. Here's a look at this gorgeous sunrise right now. You can see those beautiful colors in the 6 o'clock hour before 7. It's been a while since we've seen that. And temperatures are into the 20s to some low 30s in most areas. It's 31 in Fargo, 33 in Grand Forks. So you'll still need the coat this morning, but we struggled to get to these numbers not too long ago. So it's nice to start off that way, and we will watch those temperatures rise from there today. So a look at your bus stop forecast starting in those 30s and then into the afternoon. The kids might want to shed a layer here with some temperatures getting back into the mid 50s for your high today. Plenty of sunshine both heading to school and for home from school. And this continues this week. If you're going to be heading to the polls today, it's going to be great. If you're going tomorrow on Election Day, here's a look at your forecast. Even warmer, back into the low 60s for your Election Day. Temperatures will be pleasant, sunshine, wind will be southwesterly and not too strong. So we're looking at great weather for being out and about, not just for Tuesday, through the rest of the work week, we'll be into the low to some mid, maybe even some upper 60s if we could warm up enough. And we're looking at dry conditions too. So gorgeous weather this week. Just remember that things are changing next week, and it starts late Saturday night and into Sunday. We'll see a chance for some snow and rain. We're going to be watching that round closely, and after that, we cool down. So this is your week to get out and enjoy some nice, mild, even warm weather for November.
Yeah, I would call it warm. I'm going to love it. Thank you, Lisa. It's now 6 minutes before 7. Fargo Public School officials are meeting right now to talk about whether to have older children head back to the classrooms, even as the state struggles with the worst outbreak of coronavirus in the nation. They're discussing plans to send junior and senior high school students back to class. Valley News Live is following this meeting, so stay with us on air and, of course, online to learn more on the information that will be released. Clergy members from across the FM area gathered for a candlelight vigil in honor of people affected by COVID-19. Pastors from Fargo, Moorhead, and other surrounding areas met at the Eternal Flame sculpture at the Broadway Sanford campus last night. They read scripture, offered up prayers, and held moments of silence for victims. Organizers hope that this shared message will help bring people together in what has truly been a difficult year for so many.
We're doing it together, and it's a reminder that none of us are in this alone. We've all been impacted by this in some way. Even if it hasn't been death, it's been something that has touched our lives because of this past year.
Organizers are hoping people keep praying for patients, families, staff, and healthcare providers. Starting today, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey will fine travelers who do not wear face masks. The $50 fine will be imposed in the 3 New York City area airports, plus bus terminals and train stations. It also includes the World Trade Center and its transportation hub. With 1 day until Election Day, the presidential candidates are both holding rallies in several states today. President Donald Trump will hold 5 airport rallies in 4 states, 2 of which will take place in Michigan, with the rest happening in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Democratic presidential candidate, former Vice President Joe Biden, will be in Cleveland, Ohio, before heading to Pennsylvania. There, he will attend a canvass kickoff in Beaver County, then a drive-in event in Pittsburgh. That's also where he'll wrap up his campaign blitz with a drive-in event with his wife and entertainer, Lady Gaga. More than 93 million votes have already been cast in this year's presidential election. That's according to the latest data from Target Smart and supplemented with numbers NBC News received from secretaries of state. It's projected that the number of early voting could hit 100 million by tomorrow's election. And if you still want to vote early for this election this week, fewer options are now available for you. There are some important deadlines approaching that we want you to know about. So let's check in with the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod. He has been tracking it all for us and joins us live this morning with the important, make sure you get your vote counted, all of the important things you need to know to make that happen. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Lisa. I actually should have wore a watch today to let you know that time is ticking, because literally it is when it comes to these deadlines. I do want to let you know that when it comes to these deadlines in North Dakota and Minnesota, they have way different deadline dates and times. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And we're going to make this as easy as possible. Let's start with North Dakota. Now, mail-in votes for North Dakota postmarked by today to count an election. Return absentee ballot in secure box by 5 p.m. today. A dropping off last minute, take it into the post office and ask them to hand mark it. An insured vote is postmarked the same date. Now, Minnesotans' deadline to receive ballots is 8 p.m. on Election Day. Drop your ballot off yourself no later than 3 p.m. on Election Day to the election office that sent you that ballot. Now, you may not drop ballot off at your polling place on Election Day, but you can drop off ballots for up to 3 other voters or vote in person on Election Day. If you have a mail-in ballot, do not put it in the mailbox in Minnesota. Now, if you have any questions about what I just said, go to our VNL News app, type in North Dakota voting or type in Minnesota voting. It will pop right up, everything I just mentioned. So, Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to you in studio.
All right, Brian Sherrod reporting live for us this morning. Great reminders. And of course, like he said, you can always vote in person on Election Day. If you have old jack-o'-lanterns or pumpkins on the front step and you want to get rid of them, the City of Moorhead wants to help you out. The city has 4 places where you can drop off your old pumpkins for free. Those pumpkins will then be composted at a local farm. The city says you can't put the pumpkins in your yard waste piles for pickup, and they should not go in your trash. We have the 4 places listed on where you could drop them off when you find this story on our VNL News app. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question, a new survey asked people how they have kept their minds sharp during the pandemic. 36% of people said this. I love this. It did not cross my mind, but if you found a great one, let us know so we can watch it too. Watching documentaries. A few people did guess that they've been binging those great documentaries on Netflix. Remember, the Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. You can join us right now for more live, up-to-the-minute news and weather right now on the Fargo CW. And that includes an in-depth look at that gorgeous forecast we have coming up for this first full week of November. We're talking 60s in the forecast. Have a great Monday, everyone.